Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. So I've done my dream transfer signings and the video actually did very well. So I'm going to be doing my dream 11 for Arsenal next season. I'm not talking about anything about ambitions, winning the Premier League, going far in the Champions League. I just think we need changes, and Mikel Arteta is going to spend around 200 million on the midfield. So in this one, I want to dive into the players that I think Arsenal should stick into that 11 that we had last campaign, just to make it better and make it a little bit the quality of Manchester City. Now, there are going to be some shouts that you won't agree with, because there's some players I will replace in this team and probably you won't like it, but let's go. Do you agree with my changes to the Arsenal starting 11? I don't agree with Mikel Arteta going with a 200 million midfield rebuild, like for Declan Rice and Kai Havertz and Romeo Lavia. You spend 200 million. It just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of a mockery. But let's dive into my dream 11 for Arsenal next campaign. Hit the like button. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Now, in goal, I thought of going for someone different other than Aaron Ramsdale, but he's had a very, very big impact on the team, especially on our defense and the way we play from the back, and the way Mikel Arteta seems to like him is absolutely phenomenal. But I also think that in the Premier League, he's in that category of goalkeepers where, you know, he's just all right. I think he's the same category as Ban Leno, in the same category as David Raya, in the same category as all these other goalkeepers. I don't think he's a poor goalkeeper. I just don't rate him that much, to the extent of, you know, if I had an option like Onana, if Arsenal had a lot of money to spend on a goalkeeper, I would definitely go for Onana or Mike Maignan at AC Milan. But because we have such a limited budget, 250 million is a limited budget, trust me. I think we should definitely stay with Aaron Ramsdale. He's done well in the last two campaigns. I think he will get much better. But the goals that he conceded last campaign do not show that he's a Champions League final goalkeeper. I don't see him as an Onana, the kind of goalkeeper that can make those spectacular, saves when you need them. But he's also worth some spectacular saves. I'm not saying he's a bad goalkeeper at all. But Onana, Mike Maignan, Jan Oblak, if I had those options, I would definitely take them over Aaron Ramsdale. Now, in defense, I have two changes already. One at centre back, where you have to, where we played Gabriel last campaign. I would think we need a change, and I've gone with Fikayo Tomori at AC Milan. Now listen to me. This is going to trigger a lot of people in the comment box below. It's going to trigger a lot of fans, and I will understand. Gabriel has been one of our most consistent players, so this is really disrespectful for me to drop him. But I tell you what, he's also one of the players that I think Arsenal can upgrade upon. That is the sad reality. It's the same thing with Ben White, has had a very amazing campaign, but he's one of the players we can definitely upgrade on. So for me, Fikayo Tomori and what he's done at AC Milan, the way he's returned, returned to the top of his game, the way he's standing around his area, he needs a great shot, and I think Tomori is ready for the big stage. I really thought of Josko Gvardiol, but you can't rival Manchester City, and I think if Arsenal went in for Josko Gvardiol, Bayern might also go in, Chelsea might also go in. We are not seeing so many clubs interested in Josko Gvardiol because it's Pep Guardiola's Manchester City treble winning team that are actually interested in him. So I've gone with Fikayo Tomori, experienced English, would love to come back in the Premier League, would cost maybe around 50 million pounds, or maybe slightly above than that. Milan really know how to sell. They've sold Tonali for 70 million to 80 million, so they really know how to sell. But Fikayo Tomori is a player that would massively elevate our team, and I would love to see him in my dream 11 next campaign. Let's move over to the other centre back, who clearly stays as William Saliba. There were no thoughts here. I didn't have any dirty thoughts, so do not actually have any doubts in me. Saliba has been one of the best centre backs in the world, and I think he deserves to stay in that starting lineup. Now, to go to right back, Right back is where we are also going to disagree, right? Mikel Arteta wants Jalen Timber and Mo Simakan. We are playing Benjamin White and we have Tomiyasu as an option. This is my shout at right back. Jalen Timber comes in straight into the starting 11, and this is going to be this is going to be absolutely crazy. Timber comes into the starting 11, right? But we let Ben White go. That is my shout. We let Ben White go, like not sit on the bench, but we let him go. Of course, Timber coming in means that we strengthen at right back and centre back. He can play at centre back and play at right back. Benjamin White can also play at right back and centre back. But I just don't feel Ben White, a £50 million signing, is going to be absolutely comfortable sitting on the bench every single week. And I tell you what, when Jalen Timber comes in, if he comes in, I think Ben White is destined for the bench. He's destined to be sitting on the bench every single match. Because one, Timber is going to cost almost the same amount of money as Ben White. That is the problem. If Timber was like a 30 million or 25 million pound signing, then you might go the expensive signing starts and Timber literally becomes the backup. But if Ajax and Arsenal agree on a price close to 50 million, it means that both players are of the same value and the best player wins. And for me, Timber is the better player there. I think Mikel doesn't prefer playing these high-flying fullbacks, the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Timothy Castagne, and Joao Cancelo, despite the fact that we have been heavily linked with them. He wants security and he wants defensive, assurances as well. So Timber for me is the good shout. I didn't think about him when we were talking about my signings of the summer, dream signings. But I think Mikel Arteta has done a very good spot here. This is a lot of quality. So Ben White, Saliba, Saliba, Timber, Tomori, and Alexander Zinchenko would be my back for next season. Zinchenko needs a lot of cover, and that's why I've gone with Fikayo Tomori. That's why I've gone with Fikayo Tomori. And many people will actually ask the question whether Gabriel doesn't deserve to play for Arsenal. I think he deserves to play for Arsenal. But let me ask you a question. With Man United having Lisandro Martinez, with Liverpool having Virgil van Dijk, with Manchester City having Nathan Ake and Ruben Diaz, with Chelsea having Thiago Silva and Benoit Badiashile, in which top six side, apart from Tottenham Hotspur, does Gabriel Magalhaes start apart from Arsenal? I don't see any other side. I really do not see any other side, like, to be honest. And also I also think he wouldn't start at Brighton. I don't think he starts at Brighton. I don't think he starts ahead of Dunk. I just don't think he starts ahead of big Dunk. So for me, Tomori, Zinchenko would have the ultimate cover on that left hand side. A player who is very, very good in possession and out of position as well, Fikayo Tomori. So that is what my back four would definitely look like. Now, I have disagreed with Mikel Arteta on a few decisions. And number one is Thomas Partey. There are just no other options, right? You can groom a player to replace Thomas Partey. You can groom a player to become your next Thomas Partey. But it's very hard right now in the market to go and sign a player like Thomas Partey. I mean, you could go back to Atletico Madrid and ask for, is it Kondobia? I mean, he's again another midfield dynamite. You could go for Martin Zubimendi, who is more of your Sergio Busquets kind of guy. But Partey, and the way he brings harmony to this Arsenal midfield, you're not going to get many players in that, like that, right? The patience, the composure, the passing accuracy, and all things like that. If it was Moises Caicedo, probably I would have a listening ear. But Romeo Lavia to replace Thomas Partey, if that is the suggestion, Romeo Lavia for 40 million, very close to what we paid for Thomas Partey in 2020, I would not take him to replace Thomas Partey. So for me, Partey remains in midfield. Absolutely. He remains in midfield. Now, after doing my research, I think Mikel Arteta has made a very right decision to go with Declan Rice at CDM. And this is, of course, this might change. If Partey leaves, then it means that, Rice replaces Partey and Kai Havertz drops into the Granit Xhaka role. But I think Rice is the right replacement of Granit Xhaka. Now, the first thing you're going to get from both of them is a lack of goals. The second thing you will get from them is a lack of goal threat, okay? Xhaka has been provided with the role and he's been supplying that extra goal threat from midfield for us last campaign. It didn't actually work very, very well. 7 goals and 7 assists. I think he was a very, very entertaining player in that position. But if it would be much better if Kai Havertz played there. It would be much better if Odegaard played there. You know what I'm talking about. And it would be much better if we had a player like maybe Christian Eriksen playing in that position. So that's why I think Rice and Xhaka are kind of a cut and copy. I think Xhaka has more assurances and Rice has more assurances in terms of defensive ability and output, and the fact that he's also that kind of guy that is still very young in his career. 24, he's just entering into his prime. You can mold him into one of the best central midfielders in the world. I think he still has that allowance of time than Granit Xhaka. So Declan Rice, I wouldn't be really okay with spending 100 million on him. I don't see much what he offers that a player like Ruben Neves wouldn't offer. I don't see much that he offers that a player like Sandro Tonali will not offer to Newcastle. But let's wait and see. I could be wrong about this one. But trust me, having Rice and Partey in the same lineup, that is my dream. Like, it's an absolute dream. You know, we've been talking about Ricedo. How about Partey and Rice? I don't know how that could actually blend into one name, but it would be very, very interesting. Of course, to complete my midfield is my captain, Martin Odegaard. He's had a very, very fantastic international break with Norway. I think they might not qualify for the Euros. They do have defensive problems as Norway, but they do have the best striker in the world, and they have the best creative player in the world as well in Martin Odegaard. The reason that's why I want Martin Odegaard and I'm not thinking about replacing him is because he's the best in his position at Arsenal, in the Premier League, and the world as well. So that midfield is an upgrade, right? There are not so many changes in midfield, but that is an upgrade. Like, literally, because you have to factor into the fact that Alexander Zinchenko would love to drop into the midfield a lot of the time. If I could get that 3-5-2, 3-2-5 actually formation, I'll definitely show you how it works. Right, that is, I don't know, I do not have it here. The 3-2-5, because when Rice goes into advanced areas and Odegaard goes into advanced areas, Zinchenko partners with Partey to form that double midfield pivot, and then we have an attack of 5 with Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Odegaard, Saka, and Declan Rice. Okay, but still, I still have more changes to the starting 11. I think Leandro Trossard, because of his experience, he's also 30 now. I would start him more on the left-hand side as rather than Gabriel Martinelli. Now, I know this is going to trigger many people still in the comment box below, and it's not even going to happen with Mikel Arteta. Arteta prefers wide, inverted wingers. You see, I watch Barcelona a lot of the time, and I try to find comparisons between Xavi and Mikel Arteta because they're two very, very, they're two descendants of Pep Guardiola. And what I always see is you have Rafinha who plays inverted, and then you have Moussa Dembele at times who plays in that natural left wing role. But with Mikel Arteta, he's interchanged Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. Then Martinelli has the ability to cut inside on his strong right foot, and then Saka has the ability to, cut inside on his strong left foot. That is very, very deliberate. I don't think he's done that by mistake, Mikel Arteta. He's not done that by mistake. He doesn't want his wingers to go to the byline to cross. He would rather them cut inside, find those infield passes to Odegaard and Rice, and maybe have or probably have a shot on goal. So Trossard, why I've gone with him, I just want a bit of experience in the team. And we've seen how good he can be. We've seen how good he is with corners, with free kicks, with runs into the penalty area, with assists, with goal scoring opportunities and scoring goals as well. So Trossard, for me, such a player. You want him to be starting every single day. I've also dropped Gabriel Jesus and I've gone with Lautaro. I've gone with Lautaro Martinez, 25, central striker, playing for Inter Milan. He's what you want in your striker, isn't he? He played the UEFA Champions League final with Inter Milan. He's won the Scudetto with Inter Milan. He's won the Coppa Italia with Inter Milan. If they had won that UEFA Champions League, he could have won it all at 25 with the Pirelli margins. I just think that Lautaro Martinez is such a much better striker than Gabriel Jesus, although he does not offer the off-ball activities that Gabriel Jesus offers. The tenacity, the pressing, the running, the skill as well, by the way, we get from Gabriel Jesus, the entertainment. We don't get that from Lautaro Martinez. But I assure you, I really do assure you, if we got Lautaro Martinez, we have a 20-goal machine per season. That is why I've gone with Lautaro Martinez. And finally, despite the fact that you guys really love Moussa Diaby, I still think Saka is the best right winger in the world until we find a replacement, until someone comes to challenge him. He's still the best in the world. So I'll definitely keep Saka in my starting 11. That would be kind of my dream starting 11 next campaign. Tomori as an upgrade on Gabriel. Timber as an upgrade on Ben White. Partey stays. Rice upgrades on Xhaka. Trossard upgrades on Gabriel Martinelli. No question about that. And Martinez upgrades on the striking position in Gabriel Jesus. Are you okay with that? Let me know in the comment box below.